There are a lot of changes coming to the weight loss and diet plan world really soon. And for people who have been part of that world for a long time and for people that are considering joining for the first time, it can be a lot to take in. There are already so many options and the world is about to come out with so many more that it might leave someone thinking, well, which plan is right for me? What is the plan that's going to help me lose weight? I have a couple of thoughts on this matter and I want to share them with you right now. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna and I am the diva behind Diva and the Divine, and I am so glad that you're here with me today. If you are not already a part of the Diva and the Divine community, go ahead and click that little red subscribe button down there to join the team, and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified every time I upload something new. So let's talk about diet and weight loss plans. There are so many of us that are on them, and let's be honest, odds are if you're at my channel, it's because you found me through some sort of weight loss related search. I just wanted to sit with you for a couple of minutes and talk about how I understand that there are so very many options out there and that it can be completely overwhelming to decide which plan is right for you. All over the internet, everywhere you look, you have different people and conflicting information trying to tell you which diet plan is best. You should be vegan and plant-based. You should be paleo. You should be keto. You should be Weight Watchers, Atkins, South Beach, low-carb, count calories, you name it, and people are pushing it. Which can leave a lot of people feeling very confused and struggling to figure out which plan is right for them. And I am here to ease your mind about it a little bit today. I am not here to be partial to any weight loss or diet plan in particular. You guys know what plan I follow, you guys know what plans I have followed in the past, and you guys know how I feel about other plans. All of that to say that there are different diet plans that work for different people, and so there are a few things that I want you to consider when trying to figure out what is right for you. First, I want to make one thing very clear. Whatever diet plan you're on, the reason that it is successful in helping you losing weight is two reasons. One, you work the plan. You actually follow the plan the way it is supposed to be done. You've heard the phrase, I've said the phrase, we've all said the phrase, you work the plan works for you, right? As long as you are following the rules and not cheating yourself or trying to cheat the system, odds are the diet plan that you are on will work. So that's thing number one. Thing number two is the only reason, hear me, the only reason that any diet plan works is because it puts you in a caloric deficit. The reason you lose weight, the reason your body loses fat is because you are consuming fewer calories than you are burning, which means your body has to turn to its reserves to burn the extra calories it needs in order to function properly. This means if you are taking in fewer calories than you are needing to burn, it will turn to your fat to burn those calories, and that is what causes you to lose weight. That's it. It's that simple. Any diet that you are on that successfully helps you lose weight ultimately causes your body to be in a caloric deficit. Now, of course, going a step beyond that, each body is individual in that there are some bodies that will respond better to diets that are higher in protein or low carbohydrate, while others respond well to things like higher fiber or requiring more carbohydrates in order to function properly. Every body requires different nutrients, but in general, the rule is caloric deficit equals weight loss. That being said, here are a couple of my tips, my do's and don'ts when trying to pick the weight loss plan that is right for you. Don't pick a plan based on what is trending. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening by the time that this video goes up, and it is going to be very easy for a lot of people to want to jump on a bandwagon simply because, only because, it is the trendy thing to do, and it might get you some marks on social media. Hear my warning, my friends. I did that for a very long time, and to absolutely no avail. I tried to follow a plan that was not right for my body, that was not right for my mind and my mentality, and I couldn't get a grip on it, all for the sake of being with what was on trend. And eventually, I let that go and said, screw the trend, and finally turned to a diet plan that works for me and my body, and I am so much better for it. Just because it's the cool thing to do and it's the trending hashtag and it might get you some followers and subscribers is not justification enough to go after a diet plan. Your diet plan is supposed to be based on you, not on what's trendy. Don't pick a diet because it is a quick fix. Do not I'm just going to repeat it. Do not pick a diet because it's a quick fix. Ultimately, if you want your weight loss to happen and you want it to last forever, you cannot turn to quick fixes to help you achieve that goal. My sort of theory behind it, and a lot of theories, I'm sure you've heard different iterations of this phrase, but the quicker you lose the weight, the quicker it comes back on, right? So the people that do all of those crash diets and fad diets and lose 50 pounds in 2 months or whatever, odds are those 50 pounds found its way back onto that person's body. It is the people that lose weight slowly and steadily over an extended period of time that manage to achieve weight loss to their goal and continue to have that weight loss in maintenance mode. Do not look for the quick fix when looking for a diet. Don't pick a diet solely because it worked for somebody else. Hear me out. Yes, it is a great idea to gain inspiration and consideration for a diet because it is working for people. But if you go after something simply because it's working for somebody else, you might end up severely disappointed to discover that the same diet that worked for someone else will not work for you. And that is okay. Like I said, everybody is different. Now, if you wanted to try something, that's great, but you have to try something not necessarily expecting the same results as somebody else, but maybe being pleasantly surprised if you happen to get them, but not extraordinarily disappointed if you don't. Weight Watchers and iTrackBites and Low-Carb and all of the communities that are available to us on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, that's not to say that you shouldn't use those for inspiration and that they don't hold great ideas. I mean, come on, I'm one of them. I wouldn't be telling you this stuff if I didn't like to think that I knew what I was talking about a little bit. However, at the end of the day, you might find, for example, when I did the Wendy plan, which is the plan that had you using up all of your daily and weekly points in a week in very specific intervals, most people, that plan works for. Switching things up usually causes a dramatic weight loss in a given week when you use the Wendy plan. My week on the Wendy plan resulted in a weight gain. I did something that typically yields positive results, a loss at the scale for many, many people, and for my body personally, that happened to not work, and that is okay. I tested it, I tried it, it failed, I moved on. I'm not heartbroken over it. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So don't choose your diet solely because you watched it work for somebody else. All right, enough with the negatives, enough with the don'ts. Here are a couple things that I personally think you should do when trying to decide what weight loss plan is right for you. First, pick a plan that's going to work for your lifestyle. My friends, if you choose a diet plan that's going to completely uproot your normal lifestyle and you're not ready for it, you're hesitant about it, or you're feeling negative about that fact, odds are that diet's not going to work for you. You need to choose something that's going to work well and integrate well into your life, or that you can learn to integrate into your life comfortably. If you do something that's going to make you completely uncomfortable and take away all of the joy in your life, you're not going to want to do it and you're not going to find success. So it needs to fit in with your lifestyle. Side note, that's not to say that your lifestyle doesn't need to change. Let's be honest, if you're here because you need to lose weight, odds are your lifestyle does need to change. There is a difference between starting a diet and having it change your lifestyle for the positive and being able to learn how to adapt that new lifestyle. That's ultimately what this entire thing is learning how to adapt a new lifestyle. But for example, and this all kind of ties in together, all of my do's tie in together. If one of the things that brings you joy in your life is a good piece of cake, and you decide on a diet that's never going to allow you to have cake again, that's just depressing. That is just depressing, and it's not practical, and it's not something that you should want to fit into your lifestyle. Is any diet that you try going to encourage you to not eat cake every single day? Probably, and that's okay. But in general, if you have a lifestyle that you love, find a diet that will help you change the right things while not completely eliminating things that you enjoy in life. Do number 2, pick a diet that does allow you to have your favorite foods. One of my favorite phrases is everything in moderation. And I am happily back on the downward spiral, feeling great in the diet that I have finally rediscovered and honed in on, and I'm allowed to eat whatever I want. I'm just not allowed to eat whatever I want every single day. And that's the difference. I can have cake, I can have cookies, I can have fat, I can have fried foods, I can have a burger, I can have pizza. Your girl loves food, and I am not ashamed to shout that from the rooftops. But for every time that I have a night that's pizza night at my house, we have nights that are full of lean protein, high fiber, and loads and loads and loads of fruits and vegetables. There's a balance that needs to be had, but pick a diet that allows you to have what you love. Now, if you are somebody who was never a huge fan of carbohydrates or never a huge fan of sweet foods to begin with, then perhaps a diet that eliminates sugar is not a horrible thing for you. Personally, I have a sweet tooth and I love me a good dessert just as much as I love me a solid piece of pizza or something that involves cheese. So for me, a sugar elimination diet is absolutely off the table. When you are on a weight loss plan that eliminates the feeling of deprivation, you are less likely to backpedal, you're less likely to binge, and you're less likely to fall off the wagon. Sidebar, we will all fall off the wagon at some point. It does happen. It could be just one meal that we fall off. It could be a period of time that we fall off. It does happen, but reducing the chance of feeling deprived greatly minimizes the chance of that happening. This next do is something that I feel personally very strongly about, and that is pick a weight loss plan that offers you balanced nutrition. There are a lot of diets out there that eliminate specific macronutrients or really truly highlight other ones. The way that I personally, and this is just me personally, this is just my opinion, there's no medical backing behind it or anything like that. I think a diet that is high in lean protein and that is high in fruits and vegetables and high fibrous foods with the occasional indulgence is exactly what the doctor ordered. I personally don't believe in the keto diet where you basically eliminate carbohydrates, for lack of a better term. Like, I don't like something that tells me you can't have this macronutrient. It is a macronutrient for a reason. There will be times where your body needs carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are your body's primary source of energy. I think you need to be smart when it comes to choosing what type of each macronutrient you are taking in. For example, lean protein instead of fatty protein, healthy fats instead of the unhealthy fats, and maybe not carbohydrates that are totally laden in sugar, but instead carbohydrates that are high in fiber. I think it's important to get a steady balance of all nutrients and not to eliminate something completely from your diet. And not to eliminate a macronutrient. Anything with a nutrient in it should not be eliminated from your diet. Does that make sense? That is just how I feel personally, and you want something that's going to help your body strike a nutritional balance. And then this is my last and most important tip. Pick a diet that you can see yourself doing every day for the rest of your life. My friends, ultimately the goal here is not quick fix weight loss, but it is a lifestyle change that will last you guessed it, for life. If you've ever lost weight before and then you wondered why once you hit your goal, the weight came back on, odds are it's because you reverted back to your old habits from before you were on your diet. You treated it as a temporary thing. I am here to tell you today that losing weight and holding on to a weight loss and diet plan is not a temporary thing, but you will have to be on something that resembles that way of eating for the rest of your life. You have to eat in such a way where once you get down to goal, once you have done a caloric deficit long enough that your body has shrunk in size and weight down to where you want to be, you can only eat as much as a caloric balance. Once you go into a caloric surplus and you start eating more calories than you're burning, the weight is going to come back on. So the best thing for you to do is to pick something that you feel comfortable with the idea of doing for life. My friends, this is a healthy lifestyle, not a quick fix weight loss plan. The reason the word is lifestyle is because it's something that you do for life. This is part of your life. It is not a temporary thing. Your lifestyle is just, simply put, what you do. So those are my do's and don'ts of choosing a weight loss plan. Now it is your turn. Take that information, take those things into consideration, and then it is your job to sit and seriously consider, of all the weight loss and diet plans out there, which one is right for you? What might be right for me or what might be right for your best friend might not be the right thing for you. And at the end of the day, whatever social media says, whatever is on trend, whatever everybody else is doing, if you've seriously considered it and you've decided it's just not the thing that's going to get you there, that's okay. You need to pick the best weight loss plan for you and only for you. I hope that this video helped you in some way. I know there is a crazy whirlwind of change happening in the diet and weight loss world right now. There are so many options coming up and a lot of people just don't know where to go. But with these simple do's and don'ts that I have given you today, hopefully you feel a little bit more empowered to go out there and choose the plan that's right for you. Good luck!